We are so stoked for Halloween this year. As the spookiest night of the year is drawing closer and closer, we're getting set up and ready to participate in all the best scary activities best enjoyed on Halloween. And that includes getting in the mood by watching scary things on TV. This year, we have a lot to choose from, and one of the hottest trailers out there at the moment is for Midnight Mass, a brand new Netflix original show that has only just come out. Today, we're going to take a look at the best parts of the trailer and absolutely everything else you need to know about the hottest new horror show. So how do you know Mike Flanagan? If his name is familiar, you're in the right place. He was responsible for the incredibly popular horror TV series, The Haunting of Hill House, which scared viewers all over the world back in 2018. His keen sense for the eerie made him famous almost overnight. As people couldn't get enough of the weird factor in The Haunting, the creepy creator has recently been working on another show called Midnight Mass, and the details came out very recently. The trailer, which is over 2 minutes long, is quite frankly a work of art. It gives us just enough to get hooked, but gives us so many questions which we need answers to. The trailer opens with a young man named Riley making his way back to his small hometown community of Crockett Island, which can only be reached by boat. The landscape, weather, and atmosphere while he returns looks bare, barren, and bleak. And as though to amplify this, a stripped-back acoustic version of Somewhere Only We Know plays throughout. Riley is disturbed by something in his past which has caused him to return home, and he tries to find comfort in his mother. The sparse island landscape is punctuated with a spark of hope when a strange priest named Father Paul arrives there at the small community church. The congregation is only made up of around a dozen people at his first mass, but he tries to make a good impression on the people, promising to help them. He is seen taking the time to get to know each member of the community, having one-on-one sessions with them to talk about their problems. He tells the small crowd, "I know I'm not who you're expecting to see just now, but I am only here to help." But what help could he mean? The music changes, interrupted with harsh, jarring strings, and we see flashes of bizarre events, some horrifying, some miraculous, animals lying strewn dead on the beach, followed by a woman joyfully looking at a pregnancy scan. A man lies convulsing on the floor while a paralyzed girl is able to walk in front of her family. Strange things are certainly going on in Crockett Island. The town seems very divided, and emotions are running high as the small, isolated community is swept up in a wave of religious obsession. We see some members of the congregation posting flyers for the church, and others start to see psychologists for fear they're losing their minds. At the end of the trailer, we see members of the community with torches marching en masse. Where are they going? One islander shouts, "We're living in a miraculous time." And it certainly seems that from the trailer, they are. But as the official Netflix description asks, do these miracles come at a price? I simply can't wait to find out the answer to that question. Midnight Mass was released earlier this autumn on the 24th of September on Netflix worldwide. Fortunately for all of us, especially those of us who are impatient, all the episodes have been released at once, and they're available for binge watching at your leisure. The series was only announced on the 9th of August, so there has been hardly any time at all between the announcement and release. Sometimes these are definitely better when they're a surprise. But how many episodes of butt-clenching horror do we get to enjoy? Well, there are 7 full-length episodes to get through, so make sure you get plenty of popcorn and your favorite snacks, and a nice big pillow to hide behind. Just like The Haunting of Hill House, the brand new Midnight Mass is expected to bring the tension in a perfect run up to the Halloween. The Haunting of Hill House was excellent at showing Mike Flanagan's ability to create tense environments and build up a scene without relying on a billion jump scares to knock your socks off. The bleak, harsh environment of the island makes you feel like you've got nowhere to run and hide, as there's only one way off the island. The landscape is so barren and void of anything colorful and modern that you can't help but feel vulnerable alongside the characters themselves. The tight-knit community on the island is small, and within just an episode or two, you feel as though you already know them and their struggles. They feel cut off from the rest of the world, as though they're just waiting for something to happen, and things certainly do begin to happen. One strange, unexplainable thing after another. They're ready to be taken advantage of, but are those forces just human manipulation by the bizarre priest, or something otherworldly and profound? Okay, so creepy plot aside, who are we gonna see on our TV screens? We all know that the cast is just as important as the story, and Midnight Mass delivers once again. Zach Gilford, who you might recognize from Good Girls, The Purge, Anarchy, and LA's Finest, stars as Riley, and he does a very impressive job as portraying the troubled, guilt-racked young man. He's conflicted about his past and mistakes and doesn't want to be a burden on his family, but he needs to return home to feel that familial reassurance. The conflict that Riley goes through is palpable through the screen, and we can't imagine anyone except Gilford playing him. The enigmatic priest, Father Paul, is played by HamishLinklater, who has recently appeared in Tell Me Your Secrets, The Stand, and 10 Things We Should Do Before We Break Up. Although his acting career spans over 20 years, his performance as Father Paul, even the little that we see in the trailer, is enough to unnerve you. It's very difficult to tell whether his intentions lie, and even though he's telling the small island community that he's there to help, that they can talk to him about anything, it's incredibly difficult to trust him. HamishLinklater is incredibly good at giving off a sinister vibe without having to outwardly really do anything, and it's a skill that lends itself perfectly to this role. We can't wait to see more of him and find out exactly what Father Paul has got going on. Next up, we have a veteran to the horror genre and to working with Mike Flanagan himself. Kate Siegel is cast as Erin Green, a local islander who grows increasingly close to Riley. She's worked with Mike Flanagan multiple times, but notably on The Haunting of Hill House and The Haunting of Bly Manor. She definitely knows his style inside and out and delivers on his signature spooky direction flawlessly every time. We also get to see Annabeth Gish, Michael Trucco, Henry Thomas, Crystal Balint, Matt Biedel, and Rahul Abburi, with Netflix having all of Mike Flanagan's works online and ready to stream. Now might be a good time to start one long binge of all his series. Start with The Haunting of Hill House, which follows a family over 2 timelines. Shows what happened to the children of the family in Hill House when they were young and how they have to face the events of their past when they're reunited again. It's dark, paranormal, and spooky, and the way the story flashes between the past and the present can't take your eyes off it. Follow that up with The Haunting of Bly Manor, which is a sequel of sorts, although it doesn't follow directly on from the previous story. The cast features some recurring actors, so it feels familiar and new at the same time. This time the story follows a young nanny hired by a rich man to take care of his nephew and niece. The estate they live on is large and sprawling. The young lady sees ghostly forms and hauntings that she can't explain. The girl does not know that Bly Manor is haunted because she takes on the work, so you as the viewer go on a journey with her. She makes these discoveries and tries to figure out if the things she's seen are true or not. Lastly, watch Midnight Mass. It definitely has the same creepy vibes as the other two, and as both Henry Thomas and Kate Siegel are recurring in all 3, you'll have that connected feeling that joins all 3 series together. Mike Flanagan himself said, "This one is special. Can't wait for you to see it." So take his advice, make some time to watch Midnight Mass, but maybe keep the lights on and grab a pillow to hide behind.